again with another video. This is the January monthly favourites. Tiny bit early, but I'm going away at the end of January, so I thought I'd try and squeeze it in before I left. So it's a bit of beauty and non-beauty, and I'm going to start with the beauty bits. Going to go straight into it. Two nail colours I've been loving this month. There is this one, which is Bobbi Brown, and it's called Tuxedo Black, not Black Tuxedo. It's the one I've got on my nails at the moment. I'm not normally a black nail varnish sort of girl at all, but this is sort of black nail varnish for girls who don't like to wear black nail varnish. It's black, but there's something about it that's like off black, I guess, and it kind of keeps it classy, I guess. So almost like maybe a really dark grey rather than completely black. But basically what's really impressed me about this is I've had it on nearly a week and it's still looking pretty damn good. So I'm quite impressed with it. It's lasted really well. It applies amazingly. Like all the Bobbi Brown nail varnishes I've ever tried have always been really flawless. They actually didn't used to have, well, they used to have it, then they didn't have nails, and then they brought a few back with sort of collections and things. And I've really been impressed. They're really good. So this one is a definite January favourite. Also in the January favourites, there is this Deborah Lippmann polish, which is from the girls collection. This one is Shoshana. It's a light sort of lilac-y colour with a bit of a silver shimmer running through it. I've done a post on this on my blog, so check out that. I'll put the link below for you so you can have a look. But I'm a sucker for lilac nail polish for some reason, year round. I don't care if it's spring or not. And there's just something about Deborah Lippmann polishes, like the packaging, and I really like it. So that's another favourite for January. Also on the beauty front, I have been absolutely loving this new foundation from Elizabeth Arden. It's their Flawless Finish Perfectly Nude. It's brand new and at the moment I believe it's exclusive to Debenhams, but then it will be going nationwide shortly. This is absolutely amazing. I really love it, and when they say flawless finish, that's what's the real selling point I think about it. It really does it just leaves your skin looking beautifully textured. I tend to have I've got combination skin. I have dry bits and have oily bits, and probably texture on my skin is one of my biggest problems. So some bits will be fine, but other bits won't. They just won't be particularly smooth, I think. So, but this one, when you put it on, it just makes the whole thing look really smooth and even. The shade I've been using is Soft Beige, and that's number 11, and I was colour matched in store for this, which is quite interesting. They use one of those little gadgets where they sort of put it onto the skin, and it tells you sort of, regardless of whether there's artificial light there and all that, whether it's the right skin colour for you. And I'm impressed. I'm slightly thinking this might be normally too dark for me because it was just after I got back from holiday, so sort of more freckles than usual I think were showing. But I'll make it work, it's fine. But basically this is absolutely amazing, really love this. Next up, a couple more beauty bits. There is NARS, the Radiant Creamy Concealer. It's got a really good reputation for good reason. It covers but it doesn't budge, it doesn't leave your under eyes really dry, which is really important for me because I tend to get really dry under my eyes. So I absolutely love this. I've just been dabbing it on my finger and then using it's one of the Real Techniques, I think it's their contour brush, randomly, which obviously isn't for under eyes, but I just find it sort of fluffy enough to kind of buff it in around the eyes, which I really like, and yeah, it just leaves the under eyes looking bright and awake without being dehydrated or anything, so loving that. The shade I've been using is Light 2 Vanilla, the Maybelline Rocket Volume Express. It's quite a fat brush, which is generally not the sort of brush that I quite like. I tend to prefer this sort of size but fluffy bristles rather than the solid plasticky ones. But there's just something about it that I actually think really works. The bristles are actually really short, so it's like, it is quite fat but the bristles are quite small, so you don't necessarily, you're not as at risk of poking yourself in the eye, which is what I don't normally like about the plastic ones. It layers really nicely, it lasts without flaking, which is something I seem to have found. Like, I've tried about 3 different mascaras recently that I've loved on first application, but then through the day they've just crumbled, which is a bit rubbish. Or not crumbled, but you just end up with those sort of flaky bits on the tops of your cheek, which I just can't be dealing with that, that's rubbish. But this doesn't do that, and it's much more affordable than some of the other ones I've been trying, so that's really impressive. Next up on the beauty front, there's two little bits, and it's quite a short video compared to my last one anyway, which I've rambled on about for ages. This I've been loving, which is the Superdrug Cuticle Serum. Really cheap product. I think it was about £3, and it's absolutely brilliant. It's a serum rather than like an oil or a cream, obviously, so it's kind of, I just love the fact that it soaks in really quickly. so nice that I'm going to throw it somewhere. Yeah, it's got these AHA acids in it, so it kind of does the job of a cuticle remover at the same time as hydrating. So I will either use it as part of doing a manicure and stuff, so I'll be, you know, take nail varnish off, do all the sort of filing and shaping and stuff, and then I'll pop this on as a sort of hydrator before I apply nail varnish. Or I'll just apply it over, like I've done it just before I started this video, where I've just put it around my cuticles when I've got nail varnish on as a sort of maintenance thing, because I do get, my hands and cuticles are an absolute nightmare. They're just constantly dry no matter what I seem to find. This has been one of the best things I've found for it though, and the fact that it's about £3 a go is an absolute winner. So I would highly recommend picking that one up. Another little favourite of mine is this Jo Malone Pomegranate Noir perfume. I've loved Pomegranate Noir ever since, I'm trying to think when it came out, but it was the, you know, when they brought the room fragrances and things out. So I was sent one of the Pomegranate Noir Reed diffusers, and I absolutely fell in love with the scent. I thought it was beautiful, and I just loved the fact that it filled the house with it. So I've actually got another one of those on the go in the living room at the moment, but I've been wanting to get this perfume for probably about 2 years. For some reason I just didn't go out and buy it myself, which would have been far more efficient. But I put it on my Christmas list 2 years ago, didn't happen. Put it on my Christmas list this year in like bold with stars next to it going, please seriously listen to me, this is what I really would like. Of course the boy was like, Ollie was sort of like, well, you've got enough perfumes, why do you need me to buy another one? And I was like, it's not the point, I just really like this one. So he actually listened to me, and I got this for Christmas and I've worn it pretty much every day since. I absolutely adore it. It's quite a strong scent, so I know it's definitely not one for everyone, but I really, really like it. So Pomegranate Noir is a new favourite. It's only the little, what's it called, the 30ml bottle, but I have no doubt I will repurchase that when it's done. Love it. And then there's just 2 little non-beauty favourites. Or actually I can do 3 because there's a TV programme I've been loving as well. So I'll throw that one in there. So one is this, the Bling Ring. Obviously completely classy watching. I watched this the other night and it's complete and utter trash, but I loved it. It was great fun. Did you ever, I don't know if anybody watched it, but it's obviously the real story of the bunch of teenagers or whatever that went around and robbed a load of celebrities. But the girl that was in it was also in that, what's it called now? It's called like Wild Child or Girl Gone Wild or whatever it was. There was like the girl who was in the actual Bling Ring was on her own reality TV show, and she was on that when she got arrested for it, and that was also part of the show. And that's the character that Emma Watson plays in this. And because I'd seen that show, I just found this really fascinating, so I spent half the time watching the film and half the time googling sort of where they actually are now and all that sort of really geeky stuff. So I can't remember her name, Nikki, or I think it's Nikki, it might be something in real life, but the girl who Emma Watson plays in real life, she did go to jail for a bit, then she came out and she's now 21 and she's had a baby with her husband who she met at Alcoholics Anonymous, I think, after she got out of jail. Love that sort of stuff. Love a bit of like LA gossip trash. It's great fun. So yeah, if you like some really trashy viewing, this I recommend. Also on the non-beauty front, I have been loving this little gadget, which is my Acer Iconia tablet. I'm not gonna lie, I really want an iPad mini. I've got an iPad, but the iPad mini it's just so much better to like go in your handbag, and that's a really shallow reason, but because it's such a shallow reason I can't justify it. But before Christmas the guys at Acer actually said, do you want to try one of these out? And I've actually found it for blogging on the go absolutely amazing. Just in terms of it connects to Wi-Fi, it sits in the bag, it's really lightweight. I don't feel sort of too precious about it, if that makes sense, because it's so lightweight and things. I don't feel like with my iPad I feel like it's more delicate than this somehow. So that's really good. So I've just found that it means I can have all my little social media things, and the other thing, which is another thing actually I've been really loving in January, and this is really, really geeky, is Google Drive. Why have I not discovered that sooner? It's amazing. Just for like some of the stuff I need to do for my blogging life, I suppose, is have like documents that I can access wherever I am. And I found that really helpful. I just save them in Google Drive, and whether I'm on a computer, my home computer or my tablet, I can still get to the same thing and the latest version of it, which is a massively geeky thing to include in a favourites video, but might be helpful to somebody, so hope you enjoy that. Also, there's a TV programme I've been loving called Person of Interest. It's a weird thing with this guy who's invented a gadget and kind of he like knows crime is going to happen and things like that, so he can like track criminals. It's a bit weird. There's basically like this really tough guy who's all kind of moody and stubbly looking, and then there's also this really geeky guy who kind of limps around and does geeky things. And then there's a cop, and it's all set in New York, and it's really cool. I really enjoy it. So that's another thing I've been loving in January. Oh, and one more thing before I forget is this dress, which is it's a Topshop dress. It's one that my brother got me for Christmas. And I just really like it, and I'm going to try and track it down because I've got a black and white striped version as well. It's basically just like a t-shirt dress, so sort of this length sleeve, slight roll up at the bottom. It's got a zip down the back, and it's kind of shapeless, but in a nice way, if that makes sense, like a tunic-y style. So yeah, I've been really liking that, and I want to get it in black and white as well. What have been your January favourites? I would like to know. I hope you don't mind this coming up early, and just one other thing is thank you to everyone who has taken the time to subscribe recently. Really appreciate it, and I really hope you're going to enjoy the videos going forward. As you can see, I've got the stylish YouTube setup with the flowers and the candle and everything like that, so I'm absolutely aiming to make a video a week, so keep an eye out for the next one. If you've got any suggestions or requests that you'd like me to do, please let me know. Have a lovely week. Bye!